January 1st, 1804. A sultry dawn breaks over the Place d'Armes in Gonaïves, Haiti, where the air thrums with drums and the scent of gunpowder from recent battles. Thousands of former slaves, black, mulatto, and a few whites, gather in ragged uniforms, their faces etched with exhaustion and elation. At the center, General Jean-Jacques Dessalines, a scarred warrior born into slavery around 1758, stands tall in a plumed hat, flanked by Henri Christophe and Alexandre Pétion. He tears a French tricolor flag, casting aside the white strip to create a new blue and red banner, symbolizing black and mulatto unity. As the crowd roars, Dessalines proclaims the independence of Haiti, the name reviving the indigenous Taino word for mountainous land, declaring, "We have broken our chains. Haiti has become the first black republic in the world." Cannons salute, bonfires blaze. This is no mere declaration. It's the triumph of the only successful slave revolt in history, a revolution that shattered colonial empires, inspired abolition worldwide, and proved that the oppressed could forge a nation from blood and fire. Welcome to Vestige Files, where we unearth the pivotal moments that shaped history. This is the story of the Haitian Revolution, an epic of resistance, betrayal, and rebirth that transformed a sugar colony into a beacon of liberty. To comprehend this unprecedented uprising, we must rewind to the late 18th century, when Saint-Domingue, France's richest possession, simmered under the yoke of slavery. In the 1780s, Saint-Domingue, now Haiti, occupied the western third of Hispaniola, a Caribbean island shared with Spanish Santo Domingo. Discovered by Christopher Columbus in 1492, it became a French colony in 1697 under the Treaty of Ryswick, ceding the west to France from Spain. By 1789, it was the Pearl of the Antilles, producing 40% of the world's sugar and 50% of its coffee exported to Europe for immense profits. Its trade exceeded that of all Spanish America combined. This wealth rested on brutal exploitation. About 500,000 enslaved Africans, comprising 90% of the population, toiled on 8,000 plantations under the Code Noir of 1685, which regulated but did not mitigate horrors like whippings, brandings, and family separations. Life expectancy for enslaved was 21 years. Annual imports of 30,000 captives replaced deaths from overwork and disease. Above them, 40,000 whites, grands blancs, planters, and petits blancs, overseers, artisans, held power, while 28,000 free people of color, affranchi, often mulatto descendants of white fathers and enslaved mothers, owned a third of plantations and a quarter of slaves but faced discrimination, barred from professions, seating restrictions, and sumptuary laws forbidding fine clothes or carrying swords. Tensions festered. Marronage, escaped slaves forming mountain communities like those led by Macandal, executed in 1758 for poisoning plots, kept resistance alive. France's Enlightenment ideals clashed with colonial reality. Philosophers like Montesquieu critiqued slavery in The Spirit of the Laws, 1748, while the Abbé Raynal's History of the Two Indies, 1770, co-authored with Denis Diderot, predicted a black Spartacus rising against tyrants. The American Revolution, 1775 to 1783, influenced. 800 free men of color from Saint-Domingue fought with French forces at Savannah in 1779, returning with ideas of liberty. But the spark came from the French Revolution. On May 5, 1789, the Estates General convened amid France's financial crisis, debts from American aid, and poor harvests causing bread riots. The Third Estate formed the National Assembly on June 17th, swearing the tennis court oath on June 20th. The storming of the Bastille on July 14th ignited nationwide upheaval, with the August 4th abolition of feudal privileges and the August 26th Declaration of the Rights of Man and of the Citizen proclaiming equality and liberty. News reached Saint-Domingue by September 1789, electrifying the colony. Grand Blanc sought autonomy from France's mercantilist exclusive trade monopoly, forming colonial assemblies. Free people of color, led by Julien Raymond, a wealthy indigo planter born in 1744, to a white father and mulatto mother, and Vincent Auger, a merchant educated in France, petitioned for rights. In Paris, they joined the Société des Amis des Noirs, Society of the Friends of the Blacks, founded in 1788 by Jacques-Pierre Brissot, with members like Marquis de Condorcet and Abbé Grégoire, advocating gradual emancipation. On March 8, 1790, the National Assembly decreed that colonial assemblies could decide on a franchise status, but whites in Saint-Domingue resisted. Auger returned in October 1790, leading a revolt of 300 free men of color near Cap Français, now Cap Haitian, demanding voting rights. Crushed by colonial troops, Auger fled to Santo Domingo, but was extradited, broken on the wheel, and executed February 25, 1791. His martyrdom fueling unrest. Enslaved people, hearing revolutionary slogans via Maroons and domestic servants, plotted. On August 14, 1791, some sources say August 21st, at Bois Caiman in the Northern Plains, Duddy Boukman, a Jamaican-born Vodou Hongan priest and coach driver, led a ceremony with Cécile Fatiman, a Mambo priestess, sacrificing a pig and swearing an oath. Listen to the voice of liberty which speaks in the hearts of all of us. Boukman invoked African spirits and revolutionary ideals, rallying for uprising. The revolt erupted on August 22, 1791. Thousands of enslaved, armed with machetes and torches, rose in the north, burning plantations and killing 400 whites in the first weeks. Boukman, with Lieutenants Jean-François Papillon, Georges Biassou, and Jeannot Bullet, coordinated attacks, swelling to 100,000 rebels by October. Whites fled to Cap Français. Colonial Governor Philibert François Roussel de Blancheland mobilized militia, executing suspects brutally. Jeannot, captured, was tortured to death. On November 7th, Boukman fell in battle near Akul, his head displayed on a pike. But the rebellion spread south and west. In Paris, the Legislative Assembly, succeeding the Constituent in October 1791, debated. Brissot's Girondins pushed for reform, while planters lobbied against. In April 1792, the Assembly granted full citizenship to free people of color and sent commissioners, Léger Félicité Sonthonax, a radical lawyer, Étienne Polverel, and Jean-Antoine Helot, with 6,000 troops. Arriving in September, Sonthonax allied with a Franchi against white royalists. Meanwhile, France declared war on Austria in April 1792, escalating to the First Coalition. In Saint-Domingue, chaos reigned. Rebels controlled countryside, whites split between royalists and republicans. A Franchi formed armies under André Rigaud in the south. In June 1793, royalist whites in Cap Français invited British intervention. Sonthonax, besieged, offered freedom to enslaved fighters joining him. On June 20th to 21st, amid Les Journées de Juin, sailors and enslaved clashed with militia, city burned, 10,000 fled. Sonthonax proclaimed emancipation in the north on August 29, 1793. Polverel extended to west and south by October. The National Convention ratified universal emancipation February 4, 1794, abolishing slavery in all colonies. Enter Toussaint Louverture, born François Dominique Toussaint around 1743 on the Breda Plantation, a free black coachman by 1776. Joining the revolt late 1791 under Biassou, he rose as a strategist, training troops in guerrilla tactics. In 1792 to 1793, he allied with Spanish Santo Domingo, fighting French as Black Auxiliaries, capturing towns and earning the surname Louverture, the opening, for breaching defenses. But upon hearing of emancipation, he switched to France in May 1794, declaring, "I am Toussaint Louverture. My name is perhaps known to you. I have undertaken vengeance. I want liberty and equality to reign in Saint-Domingue." His forces defeated Spanish at San Rafael in October 1794. Spain ceded Santo Domingo via 1795 Treaty of Basel. Britain invaded in September 1793, seeking sugar wealth, occupying Port-au-Prince and other ports with 8,000 troops, but yellow fever decimated them, 80% mortality. Toussaint, promoted to brigadier general in 1795, routed British at Mirebalais and elsewhere. By 1798, under Commander Thomas Maitland, British withdrew after losing 60,000 men, signing a secret accord with Toussaint. Internally, Toussaint maneuvered. Sontenax, returned as commissioner, was expelled by Toussaint in 1797 for plotting elections. In the south, Rigaud's mulatto forces clashed with Toussaint's Black Army in the 1799 to 1800 War of Knives. Toussaint triumphed at Jacmel in March 1800, exiling Rigaud to France. By 1801, Toussaint controlled the island. Invading Santo Domingo in January 1801 to enforce emancipation, he unified Hispaniola. In July 1801, he promulgated a constitution naming himself governor for life, with centralized power, forced labor on plantations to revive economy, and Catholicism as state religion, alienating France. Napoleon Bonaparte, first consul since 1799, sought to restore colonies and slavery. In December 1801, he dispatched 20,000 troops under brother-in-law Charles Leclerc, with promises of maintaining freedom but secret orders to disarm blacks and reinstate slavery. Leclerc arrived February 1802, capturing ports. Toussaint's scorched earth resistance, burning Cap Français, delayed but couldn't stop the French. Generals Christophe and Dessalines initially resisted but submitted in May 1802 amid amnesty offers. Toussaint retired to his plantation but was arrested June 7, 1802, in a trap by General Jean-Baptiste Brunet. Deported to France, he died April 7, 1803, in Fort de Joux from pneumonia, proclaiming, "In overthrowing me, you have cut down in Saint-Domingue only the trunk of the tree of liberty. It will spring up again from the roots, for they are many and deep." Betrayal followed. In July 1802, Leclerc reinstated slavery, sparking renewed revolt. Yellow fever ravaged French. Leclerc died November 1802, succeeded by Donatien Marie-Joseph de Rochambeau, who unleashed dogs and mass drownings. Dessalines, defecting in October 1802, united with Pétion and Christophe. The final push came in 1803. Dessalines, assuming command, rallied at Arcueil May 18, 1803, creating the Haitian flag. French, reduced to 7,000 by disease, faced guerrilla warfare. At the Battle of Vertières on November 18, 1803, near Cap Français, Dessalines' forces under François Capois-Lamort, charged French lines despite cannon fire. French commander Rochambeau, impressed, ordered a ceasefire to applaud before resuming. The Haitians prevailed. Rochambeau evacuated November 30th, the last French leaving by December. On January 1st, 1804, at Gonaïves, Dessalines declared independence, renaming the colony Haiti. The declaration, drafted by Louis Boisron-Tonnerre, vowed eternal enmity to France. "Let us swear to the whole world, to posterity, to ourselves, to wipe out from this land every track of the French." Massacres followed. From February to April 1804, Dessalines ordered the killing of remaining whites. 3,000 to 5,000 died, to prevent reconquest and avenge atrocities. In October 1804, Dessalines crowned himself Emperor Jacques I, but was assassinated October 17, 1806, amid plots. His authoritarian rule and forced labor alienated mulattoes. Haiti split. Christophe ruled the north as King Henri I from 1811, building the Citadelle La Ferrière fortress. Pétion presided over the Republican South. Reunited in 1820 after Christophe's suicide under Jean-Pierre Boyer, who annexed Spanish Haiti in 1822. France recognized independence in 1825, but imposed 150 million francs indemnity, reduced to 90 million, paid until 1947, crippling debt. The revolution's toll, 200,000 dead, including 100,000 blacks and mulattoes, 50,000 French soldiers, mostly disease, 24,000 British, plantations ruined, economy shifted to subsistence, legacy profound, first black-led republic, second independent American nation after the U.S., abolished slavery permanently, inspired slave revolts like Denmark Vesey's, 1822, and Nat Turner's, 1831, in the U.S., abolition in British colonies, 1833, and Latin American independence, Simón Bolívar received aid from Pétion in 1816, promising to abolish slavery. Yet isolation ensued. U.S. refused recognition until 1862, fearing slave unrest. Vatican until 1860. Internal divisions, colorism, authoritarianism persisted, contributing to instability. Human stories resonate. Louverture's strategic genius elevated him from slave to ruler, his betrayal a cautionary tale. Dessalines' ferocity forged nationhood, but stained it with vengeance. Pétion's republic influenced South America. Christophe's kingdom built monuments defying reconquest. Women like Senete Belair fought and died. Fatiman's Vodou role blended African spirituality with revolution. Today, Haiti struggles with poverty and unrest, but the revolution's spirit endures. January 1st is Independence Day. Vodou ceremonies honor forebears. It challenged Enlightenment hypocrisy, proving universal rights applied to all. Was the Haitian Revolution a pure victory for human dignity, or a triumph marred by violence that echoed through centuries? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If this tale of unbreakable will inspired you, hit that like button, subscribe to Vestige Files, and ring the bell for more stories of history's turning points.